What's up, everybody? Welcome. Your Wednesday evening entertainment. UPR's AEW Dynamite Recap and Review. As always, divine intervention with All Elite Joker.
Yo.
Joker, loving some of the new additions to your background.
Thank you.
All right, people, not going to waste any time. We've got a lot of shit to talk about.
Whole lot.
All right, got to kick things off. Huge announcement from Tony Khan. We kind of talked about and speculated what that could be last week, but it is official. Tony Khan has been a big fan of Ring of Honor for a very long time, he says, and he has purchased them. Holy shit. It was pretty much speculated that it was either going to be this or a New Japan Super Show. And given where things are climate-wise with what's going on that side of the world as far as being able to maybe travel and the pandemic, this seemed like the more sure bet. Joker, what do you think this means for AEW?
Well, evening, Elvis.
What up?
There's so much that can happen here. And just the pool of people that we can now, possibly see and what that could mean for Ring of Honor as a company as a whole.
Right. First off, this spices up their programming immediately. Some of the people who have not been getting not the time of day, but, there's only but so much time that AEW has in a week, and they have specific stories they have to tell. So I think this almost immediately addresses the time issue as well.
Yeah, because, you can continue with, trading back and forth different people and stuff. And like you said, more people can get more shine over in Ring of Honor. And it also I feel like it's just going to continue to improve the business as a whole. Both AEW and Ring of Honor, and then just the wrestling business in general.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Nothing announced other than the purchase so far. And for this go-home show, I can say that other than a lot of mentions, there were no Ring of Honor faces on this episode of AEW Dynamite. And honestly, I think that's a good thing going into the pay-per-view. This kind of stuff would be better suited for the show right after to start setting up storylines going into Double or Nothing. But yeah, exciting stuff. Can't wait to see what happens here. And immediately kind of transitioned into the first match of the evening, Bryan Danielson versus Christopher Daniels. Both of which were the main eventers of the very first Ring of Honor, which was 20 years ago. And then Paul Turner apparently also, like, the whole setup was, plucked from time and brought to us here in Jacksonville. Victor, good to see you. You are acknowledged as always, good sir.
You're early.
I know. I mean, this was a classic. CD is 51 years old. Somehow his eye got messed up. I'm going to be honest with you people. We have real lives outside of this. I was cooking dinner during this match. So the beginning portion of this, I didn't get a chance to see. But both of these guys are amazing in the ring. Joker, do you have a play-by-play of what happened in this match?
Yeah, for the most part. So we started off, they had a very professional mutual respect, for each other, really giving, some reverence to the moment that was happening. A rematch, what did they say, 22 years in the making?
No, it's 20 years.
20 years in the making. Like, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I think it was cool to have, Paul Turner, who happened to be the ref in that match or in their matches. Like, it was a great moment. So you started off with them having, some nice back and forth. They were respectful of each other, having a good just back and forth. And then, of course, Danielson then went full Danielson and just started beating on him. I couldn't tell where the eye got messed up because it got progressively worse. So it was kind of hard to pinpoint when it actually happened. But like by the end of it, or at least the extent of whatever was happening with his eye, I mean, his whole eye was like completely red, and it was quite the visual, but it was it was pretty bad. And I was like, can he see? Like, and I think commentary actually did mention, they're like, I wonder, if that's impairing his vision or not. But I mean, it didn't seem to take him out of his element, because I mean, he hit a beautiful springboard moonsault off the top rope out to Danielson out on the floor. Just a good old fashioned wrestling match between these two, and you see why they're veterans.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, Daniels has been away from the ring for a minute, so no surprise there that maybe he got clipped or little rusty in the ring. But overall, I mean, he looked amazing, especially considering his age, and that he did retire essentially for how long has it been? Like a year and a half now?
Yeah, and I think he's done like a few little bits here and there on like the indies, but like just little stuff. So yeah, it was great to see him on AEW television, and especially in Daly's place.
Yeah, because that's where he left.
Yeah, and they did a lot of work in Daly's. He was still there for that.
Yeah,
and yeah, it was just really good to hear the reaction that he got from the crowd. Everybody still remembers, everybody still appreciates him, and so I was very happy about that.
There was a lot of that this evening.
Yeah,
just projecting a couple other people getting quite the rousing review from Daly's place. But I did catch the ending here, so it was the best moonsault ever, countered into the triangle sleeper, and Danielson essentially, doing his usual, and the double by lock for the win.
He elbowed him in the head a good number of times.
Oh yeah,
and then hit the double by. Because Danielson.
That's what this was for. Gotta get the elbows.
Sure.
But Danielson speaks afterwards. He says that, in Ring of Honor days, they started and ended matches with a handshake. He does give Daniels an ending handshake, but then with arms still captured, says he is not in Ring of Honor. He's in AEW, and it's time to stomp some heads. And obliterates Christopher Daniels. I mean, he was already knocked out. Completely unnecessary. But yeah, Moxley comes out for the save and cuts a promo. It's pure Mox. Essentially, he will walk the path of fire and bullets through Mr. Danielson to a victory. Your thoughts on this match going into the pay-per-view?
And blood.
Yes,
he also
and
said
blood.
Something about blood in there. Yeah, no, I'm still very, very hyped for this match.
Yes, he was going to write the next chapter in Danielson's blood.
Yes, excellent job.
Of course.
Yeah, just I'm still very high for this match. I feel like we're going to see a really, really good match. Oh my god, I'm just imagining what's going to happen between these two, because I mean they're two of. And I feel like Moxley, because of his just mean streak and his very brawler style, doesn't get enough credit for how technically savvy he is in the ring. And so I feel like watching these two, and with Danielson's recent just pure just rage fest that he's been in, I can't wait to see this. And if they're both just going to continue to be on this rampage, I can't wait to see this. I would imagine almost dominant heel faction that they are creating.
Yeah, I mean, Danielson is pretty solidly on the heel side at this point. Yeah, so, if Mox were to cross over, then he truly would need to transition. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's a huge stretch for him, because while he is a babyface because he's adored by the people, he's not like a plucky, happy-go-lucky, like the usual type of babyface. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see it. He was on the path of doing that before he, went to go and heal from the situation that he was in. But
Yeah, he murdered 10.
yeah, I mean, that was disgusting. And I think that he
He was
has
bleeding
been,
through the mask.
I feel like he's been back long enough and proven that he is healthy enough to make that decision. If he wants to pursue a heel run, then I mean, why not? Fresh face from Moxley. Got a couple comments here. Elvis saying, I'm your favorite viewer. Well, you were until you chimed in with Mox is a bum. I don't know, Elvis. Kind of losing your throne here. Victor says, Joker, we're getting closer to seeing the Ring of Honor tag team champs, them boys, the Briscoes and AEW.
Man, I'm so excited. I need it so bad. They are, I almost really want them to come out at Revolution. I don't know why, but I just
I think Revolution is going to be nuts with debuts. I hope they don't go overboard. I think that they really knocked it out of the park with the triple debut of, the back-to-back debut of Danielson and Cole. And wasn't there another debut on that pay-per-view as well? They did a trifecta, and it worked out well enough.
I know Punk came in right before.
Right.
And then it was Danielson and Cole.
Regardless, I just hope they don't go overboard, because I know that there are a lot of fresh faces available right now. Got a Cesaro, freshly not released from WWE, but fresh on the market, unable to reach a conclusion on his contract, so he could make an appearance. A couple other Athena. I know we've talked about her a couple weeks. So speaking of women's wrestling, Mercedes Martinez, she did a good job in Thunder Rosa tag team. Honestly, it's hard to say. I was not expecting what happened this evening. Won't give any spoilers because we haven't covered that just yet, but we will talk about this here in just a moment. Last question for right now. Question for you guys. Is it true or not that they're actually married to each other? If not, you can blame Big Daddy for this question. He said it on we are actually married to each other. Our anniversary was just 2 weeks ago, essentially 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So excellent question for anybody who didn't know.
And greetings and salutations to everyone in the chat.
Hey, everybody. We're going to get to Tony's announcement was a letdown. Very interesting. He said it was going to change things, and I believe it, but we'll have to see what happens. All right. We got to keep going on the show. Darby and Sting promo next. Basically just letting us know that there are going to be large fines and punishment for any interference in the match, which was officially made a tornado tag match, if I'm remembering the cue card correctly. Yep. But assuring that anybody that interferes, there's going to be some serious hell to pay. And Darby says that they're basically going to steal the show because nobody's crazier than Sammy and Darby. But before that, triple threat match for the TNT title on Rampage is coming Friday. Your thoughts about them fighting and then having to team up a couple days later? I know we kind of talked about this during the show.
Yeah, it's kind of weird for me. It just the timing seems odd, but I'm going to just going to trust the process and see what happens. I'll save my judgment. If my feelings on the matter change after the pay-per-view, I will make those known next week. But I'm always excited to see Sammy and Darby in a ring together, and then you add Andrade to that, which Andrade is an excellent talent. So you can't really go wrong there. It's going to be a very hard-hitting, very high-flying. There's going to be something that everybody's going to remember from this match because the three of them cannot possibly – any one of those three guys can be in the ring with anybody else.
Right, and it'd be
create a moment. Right, and create a moment that you're going to remember. So having all three of them in the ring together, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Ruben, good to see you, my friend. FTR better than them boys. Don't know if I agree. That's why Charmaine is truly our favorite viewer. Sorry, Elvis. You just keep coming with these whack opinions, my guy. Jeff Hardy debut. I think it'll happen. I think he is coming to AEW. He has said it a couple times. Wait, Jeff Hardy joined AEW? Can you check Twitter and see what's happening and see if this is truly something that's breaking news here right on stream? Also, thank you for the belated anniversaries. Okay. One, wrapping up the previous segment. Yes, I agree about the three of them. I think it's going to be absolutely nuts, just like I think Sunday's going to be nuts. And I don't know. There could be some spiciness to Darby potentially taking it off of Sammy. Like, there's nothing that says that the baby faces have to win at the pay-per-view. So if Darby won and caused some contention between them before the tag match, I mean, a little kind of spicy. Oh shoot, I just lost my pen. Oh well. All right. Casino Tag Team Royale next. We have a lot to cover here, people. There were several points throughout this match. Huh?
You gonna run down the list?
Yeah, essentially. We're gonna, I mean, by running down the list, we're gonna run through the match basically because they all came out in order. All right, so to start the match, we had FTR and Top Flight making their debut return. Not their debut, their return. Very exciting stuff. Darius Martin completely healed and looking amazing in the ring for sure. Definitely could tell that he clarification. Join soon. Yes, I agree. I think he will definitely join soon. Yeah, Darius looking strong considering coming off of injury. Definitely happy to have him back with his brother so he doesn't have to keep wandering like a wayward soul.
Carry on.
All right. Next we had the Acclaimed. Every 90 seconds another team is coming in on this, so we're gonna kind of go through.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, every time we thought they were done, they were not done. All right. Next we had the Acclaimed. They did come out with a rap. They used that 90 seconds to their full advantage, basically coming out and rapping about the fact that they have been top ranked for a month. Don't even know why they're in this match. FTR are gonna basically be retired to Ring of Honor because they're lame. Everybody looking tweaked like Euphoria. Yeah, they made a rap about Euphoria. I know that's a spicy, controversial show right now. So hey, man, it was funny. But yeah, took full advantage of the 90 seconds to do their rap. No rush to get in the ring. Next after that, we had the Dark Orders, Allen 5 Angels, and 10. Then next after that, the AHFOs, Butcher and the Blade. After that, we had Varsity Blondes. After that, we had Bear Country. And after that, we had Proud and Powerful, who then eliminated Bear Country completely. Like, came in, bam, eliminated. And then we had the Best Friends. And then we had the Dark Orders, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. And then we had the Young Bucks. I wish that I was joking with you guys. I really, truly wish that this was a joke. And I'm not done. When the Young Bucks came out, we looked at each other and were like, okay, the Young Bucks are out. Everything's good. Everything's fine because the Young Bucks are the stars. So there's no way anybody else would be coming up. We were wrong. Very, very wrong. Oh, yeah. So the Young Bucks come out and here's my issue with these large-scale battle royales. They are so unrealistic because when the camera panned, the Young Bucks come out, they do their thing, the streamers fly, it's amazing. And then the whole match stops. Like when they pan back out and show everybody's just kind of leaning against stuff, just watching the Young Bucks come out. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. So after that, the Wingmen come out.
Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth.
Yes. Then we had the Ass Boys, the Club. We at this point we're both looking at each other like, how many teams could there possibly be? And then the Ass Boys immediately got eliminated. Like, they come in, they walk to the other side of the ring, and then they get tossed out. And so from there, again, an unrealistic spot. FTR and the Young Bucks are going at it because that's who the match is truly meant to zoom in on, is these two teams. And everybody's just kind of hanging out, just kind of waiting for their spot. Then we had Brock Anderson and Big Shotty come out.
Oh yeah, more people.
Oh yeah, no, we are not done. And then 2.0 were the final team. And so I didn't do a count or a total at the bottom of this, but for as long as I've been talking, it's a lot of fucking teams.
All of the rosters, tag teams outside of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus was in that ring at some point or another. Not all. Oh yeah, because people were getting thrown out, but it was hard to keep up with because every 2 seconds it seemed like somebody new was coming out, and you're just like, how many tag teams are here?
Too many in my opinion. Then we had a spot on the apron where Evil Uno and Trent are over the top rope and threatening to eliminate each other. Danhausen appears from under the ring and curses Evil Uno and causes him to go out. I think they are making it canon that if Danhausen curses you, you lose a match, or
something bad has
to happen to you,
which is kind of fun.
It walks that very fine line of Supernatural. I know Tony Khan is not a fan of the, he says his biggest regret is, the Matt Hardy teleportation situation. And I think that acts like the House of Black, Abaddon.
Thank you, Victor.
Well,
he said pretty much all the tag teams with the exception of those two. Then he's pretty much right.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. 15 teams, Jesus. But yeah, I think they're making it canon, and I think it walks that very fun line of like, what is supernatural and what is left to the imagination. From there we have 2.0 eliminating Proud and Powerful, and so the top 5 teams were 2.0, Proud and Powerful, Young Bucks, FTR, and Top Flight. Then we whittled it with those 2 teams out: 2.0 PMP, top 3 Young Bucks, FTR, and Top Flight. Young Bucks eliminate FTR. Red Dragon beats up FTR after that. Mm-hmm. And Darius Martin is facing off against the Young Bucks. Hope spot where Darius looks like he's gonna eliminate. He eliminates Nick. He does end up eliminating Nick. And then between Matt and Darius, there's an apron low blow, and the Young Bucks win. And the champs appear on the ramp. It's a lot, people. It's a lot to cover.
It was a lot.
All of that to whittle us down to what we knew was going to happen. The Young Bucks and Red Dragon versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for the tag team titles on Sunday, triple threat. Your thoughts on the fact that they have brought an external feud into a title match? Do you feel like they needed to bring that to make it relevant?
I don't know, because I'm going to be honest. As much as I love Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus in the ring, mm-hmm. their title reign for me hasn't been like super exciting or attention grabbing,
right,
or compelling, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of hard for me to say no to give it the, the gravitas that the rest of the card has, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But that's the problem. We are focusing more on what's happening with Red Dragon and, the Bucks more than we're worrying about the other stuff. It's just, I wish that weren't the case.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I think that they were given the opportunity to, shine as far as, coming in as champions, and they have had a pretty decent reign for a babyface team. But I think that there are a lot of I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if it would have been as exciting if it was just Jurassic Express versus another team, like just them by itself.
Exactly.
So I agree. And I think that it is time for them to, I think that their time has run its course. There are a lot of other teams that are ready to step up to the plate and, like more feuds to be had. All right. Going to go through a couple of comments here. Are we going to stream SmackDown tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday. SmackDown is on Friday. Friday, we will be doing a Revolution preview. We will not be a part of the SmackDown stream. Let's see. I know there are a lot of other comments in here. If you didn't know, the Hardy Boys
knew about the match, didn't know about the promos. I will check those out.
Do you play Among Us? Yes, I do. From time to time. Green is my favorite color. I play green. With the promos that Moxley and Danielson have had the past few weeks, do you think the end of the match on Sunday they create a stable? Just a start of a bigger feud? Hard to say. We kind of covered that a little bit earlier in the stream. Honestly, I think if Mox were ready to turn heel, it would be, I think it would be well received. I'm surprised the Briscoes didn't show up this bad. Kind of covered that earlier in the stream too, as far as, I think it was good that Ring of Honor was kept to just mentions versus bringing people in so close to the pay-per-view. I think focus needed to be on the matches at hand because there's already a lot of freaking matches, and we will cover that during the preview. Come back on Friday, go through the whole list because it's a doozy. We're going to be here for a while. All right, guys. We will be right back after these messages in just a moment on UPR's AEW Dynamite Recap and Review.
Me and you were talking, we were watching together, and I thought this was a really good match. I think MSK is really good. I remember as we were talking, you was like, I think MSK, you said MSK looked like they have a future on the main roster. And I disagreed. And I disagreed because I just don't feel like they care for tag team wrestling. I think MSK, I almost said MST. Oh my God. MSK, I think they're great. You mentioned stuff like them. They're marketable, young, good looking guys, colorful at that.
But when it comes to these cups that are meant to push forward, tag team to give them that light, I feel like it should always be a different person because you should always be pushing someone different. You should always be working to give someone else the light. You need as many as possible. But also the thing for MSK, I understand that you feel like they don't care about tag teams, but lately they have definitely been trying to revitalize the division on both brands on the main roster. And so
hello, welcome back.
What up, everybody? Touching on this one really quick, do you think Pat McAfee will come back on Friday to SmackDown? Probably. They're calling for Vince McMahon to be in some sort of, not feud, but program for WrestleMania. We don't really watch WWE in this house, to be honest, so the comments on that will be minimal at best. Unfortunately, this is the AEW stream. If you want to talk about SmackDown, got a stream on Friday nights right after the run. Go ahead and check them out. Anywhere you can stream here. All right, everybody, we got to get moving because there's a lot more to talk about. Chris Jericho had a brief promo next, and I am thrown for an absolute loop. He says the wrestling world is buzzing about this match between him and Eddie Kingston. He can't relate to somebody who's basically so much lesser than him. And basically, to me, he cut the same exact promo that he did last week, like almost verbatim. Yep. So there's not too much to cover here, except PMP do make an appearance, but they end up kind of dapping him up in the end. Like they're taking the tape off. It looks like they're about to like square up with him, but then they fist bump. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. When we last left them, I thought there was beef, but it seems like the beef is gone. Joker, what do you think?
The beef is gone, or they're about to jack him up on Sunday. One of the two.
It could be a.
This is literally all I got. I'm in as much of a bewilderment as you are. I put P&P dap up Chris ? Like, I was also confused. I'm still confused.
Yeah, I said
But
everything is good. I don't know.
That's what I said. I'm just gonna wait till Sunday.
Yep. Either it's true or it's an absolute swerve. All right. The big one. We got the big one next. CM Punk's return promo to MJF from last week. Real quick. Is the rumor true? Did Tony actually announce that he bought some trash? You know, Steve, you're just a hater, man. You can't be happy for the world of wrestling. There's several people on the WWE roster I know for sure that came through Ring of Honor. So are they trash? I don't know. You tell me.
I hope so badly.
I absolutely do too.
I feel like if COVID weren't a thing, and it's hard to say where we would be if COVID weren't a thing, but I feel like we would have already had something sort of like that. I feel like we would have had a super card, or we would be coming up on a super card by now. That's just my personal feeling, but I do still hope to see it in the future, and I will just continue to do so until it happens.
All right, people. CM Punk enters into the arena with a heavy heart. He's always kind of asked himself, is he the bad guy? And up until last week, he was almost certain that MJF was. He says that MJF bearing his soul took courage. But is he being gaslit? MJF, he doesn't think that MJF has lied necessarily. But MJF has done some pretty crappy things in his time here in AEW. And so essentially Punk's message is, hurt people will hurt people. So, is it because that they didn't shake hands at the beginning that, Max is hurt and this is why he's acting out? But he invites the Max from last week to come out and speak with him in the ring because his actions can speak louder than words. And so, first of all, Max comes out loving the white suit. Looks like $1 million, to be honest. There's a purpose
to that suit.
And so Punk has done some awful things too. Talks about some, this is my first taste of Punk. I did not, I've seen bits and pieces of things of the Attitude Era and growing up, but Joker is far more the old school wrestling fan versus myself. So hearing about some of the things that he's done in the past, I'm like, oh my God, not Daddy Punk, not him. But apparently he too was an asshole in his past life. And that all that hate is just going to burn him up. And, he asked himself this morning, are you the good guy? And he sure as hell is trying. He offers MJF the handshake that he never gave him upon his entry. We're going to stop here for a second. Actually, no. We're going to talk about one last thing. And then they hug it out. MJF doesn't go for the handshake. He goes in for the hug. Joker, I was in a bewilderment.
Hey,
I was in a panic.
I was panicking right there with you. I was literally yelling at the TV, kick him in the nuts, spears come up from behind, Wardlow, something. I was losing my mind because it made no sense. This is not something we'd ever seen, and he did it with such conviction, and there was like a whole moment, and I was just like, I need him to do something dastardly, please, like immediately. So when they backed up and then I was like, oh.
Yeah, and low blow he did. During the hug session, CM Punk gets the low blow. He gets a heat seeker, and MJF rips off his button up to reveal a new t-shirt. Pristine white t-shirt with the infamous picture on the front. And so...
Of him and Punk.
Yeah, of him and Punk. I mean, it's all centered around this picture. And so he gets the Dynamite Diamond ring from Wardlow. The whole Pinnacle comes out and is blocking security. He opens CM Punk up. He is gushing blood between
I literally saw it squirting out of his head.
Yeah, like between the punch with the ring and then he did like this whole bite situation. Like it was not cute. And so during all of this, Spears is getting the dog collar around CM Punk's neck. MJF gets on the mic and basically calls him a stupid old man. MJF is a snake. And the smartest thing the devil did was basically make it to where nobody believes he's real. And on Sunday, he's going to show us that he is the devil himself. And then Spears proceeds to hang CM Punk over the top rope.
It's one of my favorite movie lines.
Yeah, for sure. Joker, tell him where it's from, in case nobody knows.
Oh, The Usual Suspects.
Yes.
Guys are so
MJF is, I screamed it in the living. He is a genius. Not only was his delivery last week absolutely convincing, so was this on a completely different level.
But also almost but with the same energy,
right?
Because the way he was
unhinged.
because the way he was attacking him was still as someone who has been hurt by this person. Like, he didn't attack him with any kind of rationale or the usual fun, haha, I'm I'm doing something messed up. Like, he was just completely, like you said, unhinged and just blood going everywhere. And the white suit with the white t-shirt. And
he had little tiny blood speckles on his face as he was in this man's face.
Oh my God.
It was like a Renaissance painting.
It was amazing. And then to have them, hook him up with the collar and everything and just wrench the chain up and then him cut that promo, and just like, man, this guy.
Yeah, this guy. I do have to interject one last thing. Sammy, Darby, and Sting do eventually make the save and save CM Punk's life so that he can make it to the pay-per-view on Sunday to fight. Just wanted to throw that out there. We didn't end with CM Punk just dangling there. That'd be a little morbid, but
it worked in the Attitude Era.
This match is going to be something else. And with all the matches that we have to cover on our Friday review, preview. It's going to be hard to pick match of the night because there's so many that are going to be just absolute bangers. I think that this does course correct things. Obviously, where we left things last week, there was a lot of ambiguity of who is the good guy, who is the bad guy here. Obviously MJF bringing up a lot of valid points and making a lot of people feel heard regarding CM Punk's departure from wrestling and, his subsequent return. And so do you feel like this takes that match to the next level before Sunday?
I didn't know this match could go to another level after last week, but of course, Max proves me wrong again. I don't know if Max has a ceiling. I don't think so. He's going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. If nothing, not for his character work, just his whole. He's the whole package. He can cut promos unlike anyone else. He does amazing things in the ring, always on time, and doesn't mess up a single thing. I've never seen Max falter, and I can't stand him whatsoever, but I respect the man, and I know I can acknowledge the fact that he is one of those once-in-a-generation wrestlers.
As much as you hate him.
As much as I hate him, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was very high for this match. It's going to be amazing.
Yep. All right, moving on to Keith Lee's brief promo, if you could even call it that. He is once again interrupted immediately by Ricky Starks and basically tells him that if he shows up to Rampage, he's not going to make it to the pay-per-view, which is going to be very difficult considering Keith Lee has a match on Rampage. So very interesting to see how that's going to play out. I'm sure Team Taz will get involved somehow. It is nice that obviously there's going to be additional storylines within the ladder match versus, or, you know, just, everybody's trying to become the next TNT champion. Obviously, this will set up storylines going forward beyond Revolution. Next, we had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, our AEW Women's Champion, with her partner Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa ahead of Sunday's pay-per-view match. The match itself was okay. They square off before the bell. We do initially get a taste of Rosa versus Baker. Like, as the match kicks off, the two of them kind of square off a little bit. Rosa is beating up on Jamie Hayter. Really? Victor says match of the night. I'd love to hear your reasoning why. For me, it felt a little off. I don't know if some of the timing was off, or I'm not sure what it was for me, but what caught me off guard was the ending. Yes, Mercedes Martinez definitely looked very strong and dominant in this particular match. But the ending was Thunder getting the pin on Britt. Like, yes, I know this solidifies Thunder Rosa can beat Britt Baker, but we already knew that going into this match because the lights out match, like, it almost kind of negates for me the spark of her getting that official victory under Britt or over Britt for the championship. Do you feel the same, or is it just me?
Nah, it definitely threw me off because I was sitting there and I was just like, that's not how I expected that to go. I expected either Hayter or Martinez to take the pin and to just be, you know, okay, the lackey got pinned. So when, you know, Rosa just crushed Britt and then pinned her, there's nothing going on. Hayter's not coming. Rebel didn't do anything. Like, nothing happened. And 1, 2, 3. And I was just, So I don't know what that means for Sunday.
Yeah, it brings back this question. Do you think Thunder Rosa will be the new champion, or do you think Britt will remain? Because given what we know of wrestling tropes, the person who wins on the go-home show or in the last, you know, confrontation, usually, whoever goes over goes under. So, you know, in theory, if Rosa won this match, you would think that she might not get the win. But everything is I don't know. For me, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails just a little bit. I will still be happy if Rosa's our champion, but I would have wished that was like her first official win over Britt.
Right. Like, if she does win, like, it does take a little bit out of it because it's not her first official real win. Right.
Yeah. Charmaine, 2 weeks from now, guess what? It's a Wednesday, so we'll get to celebrate together. It'll be fun. First time someone pinned DMD clean. Interesting that is true. I thought Riho pinned her because that's how she won her. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Riho did. I may be mistaken, but I thought that was how she got her shot at the title. But anyway, this match, regardless of, you know, I think everybody involved looked strong. Hayter looked good. Mercedes looked good. For whatever reason, the chemistry just wasn't speaking to me personally. But I think the match on Sunday is going to be good. Do we get a new champion? What do you think?
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I like Thunder Rosa.
A lot of people do. All right. Speaking of women's wrestling, moving on to Ty Conti's promo. Again, can't really say it's promo because as soon as she started talking, here comes the goddess Jade Cargill.
And green hair.
And her green hair. Alex Marvez was listing off Ty's martial arts background and was going to ask how the martial arts background was going to be a benefit against Jade. Instead, Jade interrupts and says, no one cares about that karate bullshit. If Ty touches Jade, though, she loses her opportunity. So, I mean, obviously can't duke it out, but it's just always nice to see Jade. I'll never not be happy to see Jade.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Champion for I won't say forever. Obviously, we need to elevate the TBS title by putting it on some other people eventually, but not for a while. Jade is such a good champion in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Victor's. I forgot about the first match. I guess because I'm infatuated with JB Hater. Oh well, you know what? You've got good taste, Victor. You've got good taste.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Tatlander and Laila Hersh promo. Pretty much what I walked away with from this is this going to be a double turn? Because Chris basically is not sorry that she said that Laila should have gotten put up for adoption, which is definitely not a babyface thing to say. And Chris says that she's going to show a new side of herself that we've never seen before. And Laila is basically unapologetic. She's like, look, I mean, you heard what she said. So I think Laila can't be the heel in this because she's kind of justified.
Right. You can't say stuff like that. That's like super mean, man.
Yeah, that's not cool. All right. There's a couple of other smaller things to go through before we get to the main event. However, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been the UPR AEW Dynamite Recap and Review. We'll be right back after these messages.
I like the hat. Are you going out tonight? Like,
No. No, I'm putting this on because of our first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. I call this my Undertaker hat.
Okay, look, I got something for you. You talking about this guy right there? You talking about that hat right there? You talking about that hat right there? I see you. But yes, and that was probably the biggest news in WWE today, right? Was the Undertaker would be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class
on the anniversary of his streak continuing 20-0.
Is that what it is? Okay, see, wait, look at you knowing shit I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? But I thought a lot of people figured it had to be in Texas if he was going to go in, right? That's his hometown. I guess it's only right to say that it should be Kane that inducts him. But if not Kane, I wonder who would be the person that would induct him into this Hall of Fame.
Shout out to The Undertaker and his Hall of Fame induction. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Dynamite Recap and Review. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Had Wardlow next with Caesar Bononi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this squash. Caesar really didn't even get any offense in. It was a triple powerbomb symphony for the win. And this time, we finally got Wardlow stepping up to Shawn Spears and stopping him from getting his signature chair shots off on the poor sap who got beaten up by Wardlow. The two square off, and Shawn thinks better of stepping to Wardlow, and honestly, I don't blame him.
I love how Shawn took his hat off like he was going to do something. Like he's just... And then Wardlow's like, what you going to do about it? And Spears was like, nothing.
You know what?
And he left, looked at his chair. Wardlow didn't even look at him, just turned his head. And he, you know what? I don't need the chair. I can't wait. I know I say this literally every week, but I can't wait until he absolutely murders this man.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be amazing, and I'm very excited for it.
Next we have a House of Black promo. All I wrote down was spooky boys. I don't like the House of Black says a lot of pretty words and they're all just spooky. And
He talked about Pac.
Yeah, he did. He did talk about how, basically why is Penta mad? Because without the mist, he wouldn't have gotten his new found powers of Oscuro, Penta Oscuro.
Yes.
You did talk about Pac. I want to say they maybe even made a reference to Julia in there somewhere. Still think she's going to turn. Still think she's going to join. She wasn't anywhere near the Varsity Blondes when they came out. So
those losers.
Yeah, look. There are a lot of people had to lose so the Young Bucks could win. Okay.
No, I was kidding.
But yes, they are just spooky boys, and Buddy Matthews, of course, joining the ranks of the House of Black, looking good and extra spooky.
He needs more tattoos.
I can't tell if the face paint has grown any since we last saw our gaggle of goths, but we will see what happens during the next match. We said
every time.
Look, man, it's what they are. All right. We did get to revisit the Wardlow situation pretty quickly. After this, they did catch Wardlow and Spears backstage. Essentially, while MJF is wiping the blood of CM Punk off of his hands, he tells Wardlow that if he wins the Face of the Revolution match, and he wins the title, he'll let him keep it. He's so generous, that MJF. But basically, he's only making this promise because he's pretty much assured that Wardlow is not going to win. And Wardlow does pipe up and speak up for himself this time and says, well, if he wasn't so busy making sure Max won all the time, maybe he could focus more on his matches. I know. Been listening to that CM Punk, I tell you. That gets him a big old slap in the face. Slap. And basically paintbrushed, as it were. And MJF is swift to remind Wardlow that he is not a wrestler. He works for him. He is his bodyguard. He does not work for AEW. This is going to be explosive when this this will be just as much of a high to me as the Hangman Kenny payoff. They have built this whole situation so beautifully.
It should be. We might see it on Sunday because thinking about it, we're pretty much at around the 2-year mark on this, and that seems to be when they like to have their little blow off moments for their long-term payoffs. And I feel like it'd be a good time. I mean, Wardlow has a really good connection with the crowd right now. Like, you saw once he, ran Spears off, everybody, and he got back up on the ropes and roared, and the crowd roared with him. I feel like it's the right time. And with this chapter and how I'm sure Max is going to get murdered, even, whether he beats Punk or not, it's going to be a bloodbath. And I kind of, and by kind of, I mean completely want Wardlow to have something to do with it. Against Max, obviously.
Well, he can't. It depends on what order everything is in on the pay-per-view, because I know he obviously has his match. So,
exactly.
We'll see what happens, how everything shakes out. But yeah, this is definitely going to be nuts whenever it takes place, and I think Sunday we could see some sort of payoff. I agree. All right, main event time, everyone. We've made it. Yes, I didn't want to be the one to say it. We didn't have to be the ones to say it. 9.5. I'd give it a solid 9. I thought it was an amazing show overall. And we're not done just yet. Adam Cole and Red Dragon versus Hangman and Silver and Reynolds. I'd just like to point out that I know that they're all supposed to be like this whole big faction, but Red Dragon's the only one that poses with Adam Cole. When they I know the Young Bucks had a match and everything, but even when they did back in the Elite days, they came out with Kenny and so to me, it's very apparent that they are not 100% in the Adam Cole camp.
Oh yeah. Ever since Red Dragon showed up, there's been a rift, and it's just getting wider and wider.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they come save Hangman or something.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll touch on why I think so in a few seconds here. But getting into the match here, Cole basically refuses to face Hangman at the start. They're both in the ring, and he immediately tags out to one of the members of Red Dragon. And we are let in on a secret that for the title match on Sunday, it's going to be a rubber match. The two of them have had 2 matches in the past, 1 win for each of them. And so we will truly find out which Adam reigns supreme on Sunday. The Dark Order looked good in this match. We had one section where there was like a dead eye into the boom, into like a buckshot lariat tease. Like this match, I think for the title is going to be a sleeper on Sunday.
Oh yeah, Battle of the Atoms is going to be a mean match. Like just seeing the two of them and their chemistry, just for that brief glimpse that we did get before, the finish, it got me so excited, and it did what the match is supposed to do, which is get you excited for the pay-per-view match itself.
Right.
Without giving away the pay-per-view match itself.
And I think what I've really liked about Hangman's run is that he's a smart babyface. We talked about this kind of during the broadcast itself, but like there's a segment in this where, he's looks like he's down, and then Cole, just like, no, I got this. I've got him. He comes into the ring, and Adam is quick to step up, turn around, and get right in this man's face. And, I think that a lot of people have slept on this title reign, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I do wish people were enjoying it better, but I mean, hey, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like.
Yeah.
And
everyone's entitled to their opinion.
But I love me some Hangman.
That's for sure. There's a segment, of course, in every tag team match, especially the triple threat or the trios tag teams. Everybody does a move on somebody else. It always looks good. But in the end, Adam gets the boom on Reynolds for the win. And we transition into our aftermatch segment where basically it's a beatdown. It's a beatdown after the match. The good guys did try to put up a bit of a fight, but Dark Order is a bit beat up from the match. And so they tape Hangman's arms to the ropes and then just beat the crap out of him.
Well, first they made him watch his comrades get beat up, and of course no one else from the Dark Order is available because they were all in that tag match earlier.
Right.
So
strategic. Exactly.
So you got they took Silver out first, and then they took out Reynolds again. Because Silver took the high-low from Red Dragon. Reynolds took a Panama Sunrise from Cole.
Adam Cole, baby.
Yes. And of course, Page being the fighting champion that he is, even taped, cross style on the ropes. Cole got a little too close and he headbutted him, which then proceeded to him getting beat down again. I was wondering if the Bucks would come out, but I was like, no, we're going to save that for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Especially since, Kenny's not I wish him well, and I hope he continues to heal. He was very, very broken and busted up, for those of you who don't know, by the time he got done with his title reign. So wishing a safe and swift recovery for him. But yeah, considering Kenny's not coming back anytime soon, and I feel like the Bucks heel run seems like it's at its end. I feel like now's the time for the shift.
Right.
As we start going to Double or Nothing.
I was going to say, I think we will see a lot of different shifts, like touching back on the Chris Statlander and Laila Hersh situation. And I think there are a couple other people. Moxley could potentially, transition. So we could see some familiar faces, but in different roles, I think going into the latter part of 2022. The final view that we see, of course, is Cole putting the title mockingly on Hangman, but basically saying that this is mine. You're just kind of holding it for me until Sunday. And yeah, we go off camera with a nice shot of Adam Cole and his beautiful punchable face.
And his goons.
And his goon squad. Speaking of the goon squad,
Exactly.
let's see Red Dragon and Bryan Danielson as a faction. With everything that we could see with Moxley and everything, I think that Red Dragon would be an amazing addition, especially depending on the length of time that this faction is in existence, because people are calling for Cole to eventually do a babyface run as a champion. So definitely is never out of the question with AEW. With that, everybody, we have covered everything on the go home show for Revolution Dynamite, the recap and review. I'm excited for the pay-per-view and to hear all of our thoughts going into this Revolution Jubilee, Jamboree, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff.
All jovial things.
All the jovial things. It's going to be a banger. Like there's so many matches for us to discuss. We are going to go through every single one after Rampage this Friday. Adam will win on Sunday. You are absolutely right, Elvis.
Yes, he will.
He will. Which one? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the socials that you see here on screen. And catch us on Friday after Rampage. We will be discussing everything going into Revolution. I am Divine Intervention. He's All Elite Joker. And thanks for joining us as always on the Dynamite Recap and Review. Later, homies.
Night, people.
Bro.